Hey Frugivore, welcome back to the Banana Girl channel. So I am going to be uploading once a week to the Frugivore Diet channel just to keep that momentum going that I have built over the last 3 months. So definitely stay tuned for that. And who is enjoying the Abbey Sharp correction videos, right? We're correcting her misinformation.
Beautiful.
A study conducted by the dairy farmers of Canada.
So today I've partnered with Maple Lodge Farms, who sponsored this video. He's gonna save me some serious prep time in the kitchen by butchering up an entire gorgeous animal.
But if you are enjoying them, vote on the video. Take a moment right now. If you want to see more of them, whether thumbs up or thumbs down, just do something. If you want to see more of them, it really helps. It really helps get this message out. So today's video, we are going to review Abbey Sharp, Abbey Not So Sharp's review of Half-Baked Kristina. Basically, she is half-baked these days. But anyway, Fully Raw Kristina. Okay, we're going to see what she is recommending on this keto style raw vegan diet. It's just shocking, but anyway, we're going to get into it. I'm going to give her a review and try not to review Kristina's too much, but review the review that Abbey gave. It can be hard sometimes. Anyway, vote on the video if you want to see more, and let's get into it. Let's see what Abbey Sharp thinks about Kristina's diet. Okay, Frugivore, here we are back on Abbey Sharp's YouTube channel, and we're on a bit of an Abbey Sharp bender right now, aren't we? This is the 4th video that I've done on Abbey Sharp in the last 4 days. If you haven't seen the previous ones, go and check them out. I'll put a link in the description below if I remember. But look, it's important that we do this, that we counteract the bullshit, essentially, that Abbey Sharp is putting out. Yeah, sometimes she has some good points, but mostly she's just misguiding hundreds of thousands of young women into an ED. That's basically what she's doing. And we need to stop her. She's shaming women on their food portion sizes, on eating enough food for their body, on fruit. It's just really, really sad. And that's why these videos need to continue. So today's video, I'm going to review her review of Fully Raw. Well, I would say half-baked Kristina at this point, right? But that's another video. But her video is Dietitian Reviews Fully Raw Kristina, What I Ate Today. And this video was uploaded after the review on me, after she got a big break on reviewing my What I Eat in a Day. And it's had 500,000 views, and it's uploaded January 2019. So let's check it out. Let's see how Abbey feels about Kristina's diet.
Hey guys, I'm Abbey Sharp. Welcome to Abby's Kitchen.
Hey,
you
Abbey.
asked and I am answering. We're going to do another review of a What I Eat in a Day video. So I've done a few videos where I've reviewed Freelee the Banana Girl What I Eat in a Day videos, and a lot of—
Oh, she had to get me in there for the SEO, right? And when you put the avatar in like that, I've just got to let you know, it kind of talks with the Google search system. Okay, it's very smart when it comes to SEO. She's the SEO shark, or she's hired someone. She has assistants who write her script basically, but she has actually the top spot for raw till 4 diet on Google. If you search for raw till 4, she comes up for my own hard work, which is incredibly sad, but that's how it is when you're an SEO shark.
have chimed in with some suggestions on other YouTubers to review. So I saw a lot of requests for Fully Raw Kristina's videos. So I'm going to do a review of one of her most recent What I Eat in a Day.
Okay.
So let's do this.
Let's do it.
Don't worry about writing any of these things down as I prepare them. Go download my app now in the Apple iTunes store.
So in a lot of Kristina's videos, she talks about how she's not about pushing any particular diet on people.
Does she really talk like that? I mean, I think she is actually quite open about pushing a fully raw. I mean, it's not fully raw, but that's her, how she markets herself, the fully raw diet, raw vegan diet. I thought that was pretty obvious.
But here she is peddling her diet app, which kudos for being entrepreneurial. That's awesome.
Kudos for being entrepreneurial. That's awesome. So she's a businesswoman. So of course, Abbey, appreciates that because she's all about the moolah. She's all about the cash. She likes to, turn things into a business. She's not actually here to help. She's here to ching ching.
But, I mean, this app does cost money, so it's not exactly accessible for people, What? The app costs money, but you've got a book for sale that costs money as well. I mean, obviously, if an individual puts a lot of time and effort into an information product, they want to, obviously support themselves financially because, when making my ebooks, you lose a lot of money. It costs tens of thousands of dollars to make my ebooks. With designers, with the time that I have to be away from making videos. And I think that's strange of her to say it's not accessible. But, you're promoting your own book, so that's really strange. And B, they're talking a lot about the importance of juice cleanses for nice radiant skin and the importance of eating only organic raw foods, which, newsflash, is kind of sounding like a diet to me.
Yeah, because we are human frugivores and we are meant to eat raw foods, living foods. Like, that's just how it is. You know, for like 10 million years or something before we started cooking, we were eating raw living foods. So, you know, species-specific diet, I know, like, Abby doesn't get that we are meant to be eating a fruit-based species-specific diet, but yeah, it's just funny.
First recipe I'm going to be sharing with you today is a delicious fully raw.
Oh, Kristina, cue the eye roll right here.
Wow. So cue the eye roll right here. She has the attitude right off the bat, and she knows she's going to be supported in basically belittling, mocking, you know, putting down raw vegans. So I expect a bit of attitude from her, maybe not as much as the one that she had for me, because I'm probably even more hated than Kristina. But yeah, you can see that the eye roll has come in straight away.
So I'm seeing, of course, one of my favorite nutrition buzzwords, detox. Specifically, she's talking about heavy metal detoxes, which that's hardcore.
Well, I mean, it is such a thing to detox heavy metals from your body. You know, you can have certain foods like, I believe it's parsley, you know, that can actually bind to heavy metals and help take them out of the body. So that is actually a thing.
But if you have not already watched my full video on detoxes and cleanses, I highly, highly, highly recommend you check it out right here.
I recommend you don't.
Bottom line, guys, our bodies are amazing. They have all the resources that they need to detox and cleanse every single day.
I agree that your body does have what it takes to detox. It's always detoxing. Most of the time people are toxifying themselves, just ingesting a whole lot of non-human foods like Abbey Sharp does, for instance, and making it harder for the body to detoxify itself. You know, you're adding to the load. We don't want to add unnecessary toxicity to the organs of elimination, right? But look, every cell in our bodies is constantly producing, you know, metabolic waste and eliminating through, you know, your liver, your kidneys, your skin, your organs of elimination. So that is going on, yes.
We don't need green juice to do it.
Yes. I fully agree on that one. She's not having a high fruit diet anymore, right? She's not fruit based. Like here you go here. The name of the video that Dietitian Abbey Sharp is actually reviewing is What I Ate Today, Raw Vegan Low Sugar Meals and Recipes Keto Diet. Like, this just really disappoints me to no end with Kristina, okay? Because it's clearly about SEO. It's clearly about what's trending and not about helping people stay on the lifestyle, stay on a fruit-based, on a healthy, raw vegan lifestyle, raw food lifestyle, right? And she needs to get it together and actually start caring about people other than her SEO. Please, please, please don't dabble in these keto, low carb, plant-based raw food like diets. It's just, what is going on? Kristina, this is so irresponsible. This is not keeping anyone on their species-specific diet, that's for sure. You can see she's just having a low fruit diet these days. It seems to be all about SEO, what's trending, everything like that. But look, I want you to succeed long term. I want you to do this for life, because I believe that this is the lifestyle, the diet for the human species that's going to save the species, save animals, other animals as well. Okay, so check out my Go For It Yourself ebook. The link is in the description below. The frugivore diet is basically outlined in this book, but Raw Till 4 as well. Check out the Raw Till 4 diet. And if you want to transition over with some tasty lunchbox recipes and some female empowerment, this is the most controversial cookbook you will ever read. It's got rave reviews. Check it out. You can get all my ebooks. You get all my ebooks for a very reasonable price to change your life. All of my work. The link is in the description below to the bundle. Check it out.
Oh my God, what is up with these portion sizes with these ladies?
Okay, so there you go again. There she goes, like shaming. You know, she shamed me. If you haven't watched it, go and watch the video where she shames me constantly about the food portions. I'm just trying to nourish myself, eating like a style of eating which is actually close to our species-specific diet. You know, I'm just trying to nourish myself as a human frugivore. And then we have this woman eating wartime food, propped up on stimulants, telling us that our portion sizes are too big. you know, it's just unacceptable that she is just like shaming on the portion.
My goodness, it makes me kind of anxious and nauseous watching them drink so much liquid. So I am all about the veggies. I'm so excited to see her make like an all veggie juice. That's really great.
Like, how is that really great? First thing in the morning to have an all vegetable juice. It tastes horrid for a start. Let's be real. It tastes horrid. It's not giving you sufficient glucose and fructose for your brain and body function, for your energy. You need energy. What it's doing is acting like a stimulant. Sure, you get nutrition, and I am supportive of juice, okay? Having juice here and there, but having a whole meal like breakfast green juice is wrong, okay? It is not good. But Abby's like, oh, you know, too much liquid. It's like she's so used to wartime meals, like dry, dehydrated wartime meals, that anything with actual water and fiber content, she's like scared of. But I mean, this obviously doesn't have fiber, and it should.
But like, she's missing out on the fiber. The fiber is where lots of the benefits happen. That's what's good for gut health. That's what's going to keep you satiated longer.
Hear that? Did you hear that? That's what's going to keep you satiated longer. Abbey Sharp just admitted that fiber keeps you satiated longer. She usually says protein. You need the protein there to keep you satiated. So just keep that in mind. I think that is great, and that is true, okay? Because it distends the stomach wall. It distends the intestinal tract. So you get that satiation signal to your brain. That's part of the satiation signal. Also carbohydrates, glucose, fructose, of course. But I find this super hypocritical because Abbey Sharp starts her day with coffee, with a carcinogenic burnt coffee beans. That's what she starts her day with, a drug, a substance. At least Kristina is getting nutrition, you know, minerals and vitamins from that green juice. Abbey Sharp's just getting drugs. You know, like, it's not healthy. It's not healthy to ingest a drug instead of actual food. And it doesn't have any fiber, does it, Abby?
I feel so satisfied having eaten like a fraction of the vegetables that she just threw into that juice because of all that fiber really does fill you up.
Okay, so she said she would feel more satisfied if she just ate like a fraction of the vegetables, you know, because of the fiber, eating them whole. And, you know, that is true to some degree, but it's vegetable matter, okay, and some low sweet fruits. You know, there's components that of a food that lead to satiation for the human frugivore, and it must include sweetness, okay? It must include sweetness. We are sweet beings. Our mother's milk is the sweetest on the planet for a reason. Carbohydrates, we're all about the carbs, and the greens is not going to give us that, okay?
Think about how expensive that juice probably is. You could definitely get away with consuming far less food and therefore saving a lot of money. Well,
honestly, don't even try to talk about the money factor here. Like, Abby, are you serious? We see what you eat. Okay, you are just like loading, you are at cafes, restaurants, you know, she's probably having Starbucks, and she spends a whole lot more than Kristina would even on food. I know this, okay? She eats out so often, and it's because she's just not satisfied with her diet, and she has to eat all these entertainment foods. You save a lot of money on this lifestyle and not on the Kristina one. Okay, I agree. Actually, that green juice is going to be very expensive. Just take out a lot of the green matter and add in bananas. One of the cheapest foods, right?
Still getting all the benefits that you're after had you just eaten the food in its natural whole state.
What I've done here,
yeah, in its natural whole state is the best way to eat it. I agree. And that's looks like what Kristina is doing here. She's got it, you know, this is not a juice, this is cut up, but where is the sweetness here? Remember, these are low sugar meals. So she's got like what? Hang on.
created a fully raw hummus with a delicious spread of not just veggies, but also raw vegan veggie crackers. And
okay, so she's got raw vegan veggie crackers. She's got vegetables here. She's got a hummus. So it is a low carb, low sugar. Even though it is fresh living foods, you're still not going to derive a lot of glucose and fructose from this, like enough for your brain and for your human frugivore needs. But yeah, like Abby should be happy now, right? Because this is whole now. This is what she said. You know, eat the vegetables whole like that.
kale chips. So this is actually the perfect spread for you to make to enjoy at work, at home.
I can't imagine bringing all of that in Tupperware to work with me and like busting out like a party platter for one. I don't.
Okay, so there you go. It's very mocking the way she's like, I can't imagine like busting that out at work. And like, I get what she's saying, okay, but she is meant to be a dietitian focusing on the nutritional value of the food, not on the convenience factor, right? Really, the nutritional value should always come first. And if something is like inconvenient, but it's super healthy, then you should do it. Okay, obviously we live in this world where people are focusing on convenience over nutrition all the time, and people are obese, they're sick, they're propped up by big pharma. It's not working. Right? So she shouldn't be shaming her on the portion size. And she did just say to eat all that, you know? She told her, oh, you should be eating it rather than juicing. And now she's shaming her for eating it whole. What, Abby?
Own enough Tupperware in order to pack all that up each day. Not to mention, I don't think I would get anything done in a day if I had to eat all of that. I mean,
she's just so like she just cannot believe it. She's like, whoa, so much like actual like fiber and whole food. She's scared of whole food, right? Ugh. I agree that this is not a good lunch, though. This is not a good lunch for the fact that where is the fruit, Kristina? Why is she promoting this low fruit diet when the number one cause identified in 2010 by one of the biggest studies ever done on humans identified that we are not eating enough fruit. Okay, millions, I think it was over 5 million people dying every year from not eating enough fruit. Now we have a dietitian who shames people of eating enough fruit. Now we have Kristina who is presenting a raw vegan diet, even though she's eating cooked food, but she's presenting this raw vegan diet as like this low carb, unsatisfying vegetable filled diet, which it isn't, shouldn't be.
About the jaw work involved, that's quite the workout, and a lot of prep work as well. That could probably take you like a few hours just to prepare your casual lunch for one.
I mean, that's why I like fruit, because it is fast food, whole food. You just like whack it in. But she's probably like, Abby's probably comparing it to just opening up a packet, like ripping up a packet of oats, or ripping open a protein bar, you know, like that Built bar, like that she's promoting constantly on her YouTube videos. She's just comparing it to that. Well, we don't all want to live like the packet life. Okay, Abby, we don't want the packet life results either. Box life, you know.
For one day. No.
We're making a rainbow salad with a creamy tomato zucchini sauce.
Wow. So another salad. We have basically 3 salads. Very low carb.
Get started.
Okay, so I'm really excited watching this salad be put together. It is absolutely gorgeous. The colors, the texture.
I'm so confused because the last dish had a salad as well. The last dish had a salad. She's like, she didn't say any of this, like the textures, the colors. It was colorful as well. She's just bizarre. She gets other people to write the script for her video, so it ends up being kind of strange when she talks.
This looks like something I would be really excited to dig into.
Oh.
However, I'm a little concerned that there's not a whole lot of satiating components like protein that would really help balance this out, to help people eat intuitively.
What? Adding protein is going to help people eat intuitively. Where is this woman coming from? I just, like, the protein obsession is ridiculous. Like, what is she even talking about? Like adding protein powder or something? What does she mean as protein? Where's the examples? Come on.
I mean, when you're just eating vegetables, it's very easy to just feel like you're never really satiated because you're not getting, a lot of that protein that's going to help fill you up, to help satisfy you.
Honey, it's not the protein. It's the carbohydrates. It's the glucose and the fructose. Every cell in your body runs on glucose. Your brain will even create fructose out of glucose. That's how important fructose is. So we've established glucose and fructose are the most important substance, like nutrition, basically, the most important monosaccharides that you can consume. And she's trying to say protein is super important when your body does not run on protein. Yes, you can break it down through a complex process called gluconeogenesis, where you're creating new sugar out of protein, out of amino acids. But this is not feeding your body how it wants to be fed. Okay, we want to go to the sugar. We don't want to have to go through this complex process in order to try to get to that sugar. Our bodies don't run on amino acids, on protein, Abby.
So I just want to make sure that people who are watching this at home don't think that they only have to eat vegetables and that's going to be what's going to have to fill them up. The reality is there's a lot of other food components that will really do a great job at making you feel your best.
Sure, like, but she said before that, the fiber is so satiating, but she forgets to mention that has a lot of fiber there and it's satiating. But look, she's missing the whole point here, that it's not a protein deficiency that she has. It is a glucose fructose deficiency, because we are human frugivores. We're human frugivores. Just learn about basic human physiology, Abby. Okay.
So that dressing looks absolutely amazing. I'm totally wanting to try that myself.
You know why? Because it's like good fats. I want the good fats.
However, that's a very large portion of salad dressing, and it really is just indicative of what a large salad that really is. And had we seen...
Because she goes on the portion sizes again. Abby, repeat after me. Whole, fresh food has a lot of fiber and water content. So that equals increased volume. Did you get that, Abby? Please, like, learn that so you are not spreading this misinformation and just getting everybody hooked on the wartime dry food.
Some, good quality, slow burning carbohydrates in there and some...
Okay, so she means like grains when she says slow burning carbohydrates. But you know what's slower burning carbohydrate? Fruit. Whole fruits are slower burning carbohydrates. I already showed this in another video where I did a review of her review. Like, she just doesn't get it that fruit is slow burning because of the fiber and water content. Yikes.
Protein. We wouldn't feel the need to just be loading up on a massive, expensive bowl of vegetables and a very large container of salad dressing.
That's just not true. That is just not true. It's already been shown time and time again that carbohydrates are the satiating macro, of course, not protein, because we're fueling our body. If every single cell in your body, like if your car runs on petrol, it runs on petrol, right? Or diesel, whatever. And then you put something else like oil in there. You put oil in there. Do you think the car is going to run? It's not going to run, right? And that's what happens with us. We put in the wrong fuel. We focus on the protein, and then we're not running so well, right? We get constipated. We feel awful. So she's just totally misguided. Oh, here comes the good fats.
Yes, I love that there's good fats in that tahini and the oils. However, I would love to see some more protein and some good slow burning carbs in there to help balance it out. Okay, so
give it a break.
Let's talk about a few things. First of all, is Kristina's day nutritionally adequate? So based on our calculations...
I just find it so, like, very, like, rich of her to, like, be just judging someone who is eating, like, so much whole food and fresh, like, water-rich, fiber-rich food, even though it's low carb and it is, like, shocking when it comes to carbohydrate and fructose. I just find her, like, who has this low fiber, low sweet fruit diet, like, just like, seriously, where do you get off? You cannot critique anyone.
Is getting about 2,500 calories, and her macronutrient distribution is 17% from protein, 27% from fat, and 47% from...
That's a big yikes. That is a terrible ratio. Wow. So what I recommend, and what Kristina used to do, and when she was slim, fit and healthy, like from, just still eating enough. I've lived with her before. I know her eating habits. She used to eat 80% or more calories from carbohydrates, 10% or less from fat, and 10% or less from protein. So this is way out of whack, and this will not work for anyone. You try and be raw vegan, try and be raw foodist doing this, forget it. You're not going to last. You're going to binge out on cooked all the time. You're going to binge out on the sweet stuff because you're simply not meeting your basic physiological needs.
Carbohydrates. So Kristina's diet actually looks pretty good from a macronutrient distribution. However, from a micronutrient distribution, she's getting about 52 servings of fruits and vegetables a day.
Yes, that is great. That is great. And it's already been shown, even by science, not that we need it, that that is actually healthy and beneficial to humans.
Fruit, on the other hand, is beneficial in almost any amount. What do they mean by almost? Can we eat 10 fruit a day? How about 20 fruit a day? It's actually been put to the test. 17 people were made to eat 20 servings a day of fruit, despite the extraordinarily high fructose content of their diet, presumably about 200 grams a day, 8 cans of soda worth. The investigators reported no adverse effects, and possible benefit, actually, for body weight, blood pressure, and insulin and lipid levels, fats in the blood, after 3 to 6 months.
Where the recommendation is between 8 to 10.
Of course, the recommendation is 8 to 10 because it's like that for a reason, to keep people fat, sick, and dependent on big pharma and eating meat and dairy, right? Like, if the recommendations were actually in line with how we're really truly meant to eat as a species, then it'd point towards a fruit-based diet, right? And you know how many industries would go out of business overnight? Meat and dairy, see you later. Big pharma, when people get off their medication, gone. All right. There's vested interest here, and her education is all about that, all from meat and dairy, like supporting the meat and dairy industry and big pharma. Keep that in mind, right? It's not healthy to eat 8 to 10 serves of fresh food each day.
I can tell you, because I see this every single day, most North American adults really struggle to even get the 8 to 10 servings a day. So what I'm seeing, Kristina...
Yeah, but like, just because people struggle to do it or they aren't doing it doesn't mean they shouldn't be doing it, right? Changing your life takes effort. We're in the grips of an obesity epidemic. People are dropping like flies. People have the worst health of any generation. It's terrible. Okay, so you should be encouraging people to eat more fruits and vegetables. And she's basically saying, no, reduce. It's irresponsible as a dietitian.
Pull off here is really unachievable for most people.
Oh, gosh.
And not necessarily what I would recommend anyway. Even though we know that fruits and vegetables are super healthy for us, when it's at this level of extreme, more is not necessarily better.
Okay, so that is just wrong, all right? This is not what Kristina is promoting, but when it comes to fruit-based, she's not supportive of my fruit meals, my large fruit meals. This is our species-specific diet. We are frugivores. Of course it is healthy. What are people dying of? People are dying by not eating enough fruit, and we have this dietitian saying, don't eat this much fruit. It's so incredibly wrong and uneducated, misguided, irresponsible. I just cannot believe with her, this is wrong.
Especially when it's displacing other really important nutrients and minerals. So as a dietitian, this is why we look at people as an individual, because a diet like Kristina's, while it may work for her, is really inappropriate for a lot of other.
Okay, so let's look at that from a standpoint of raw veganism, okay? A raw food, fruit-based approach is our species-specific diet. It's how we were eating for like 10 million years before we started cooking, right? So that there shouldn't be much argument there. It works. The first cultivated food was actually figs that humans cultivated before grains. But when it comes to Kristina's example representation of raw veganism, of a raw food diet, it's wrong. Okay, this is not the way to do it. This is low carb. This is a mistake. So you have to make that distinction, right? It is deficient. It is a deficient diet that Kristina is promoting, deficient in namely glucose, fructose.
People. So now let's talk about what Kristina is not really getting in her diet. So since she's not consuming any animal products, it's likely that Kristina is a little bit low in things like vitamin D and B12. So
what? Have you seen how tan Kristina is? Do you know how much time Kristina spends in the sun? Vitamin D is the sunshine vitamin. Okay, we know that. And Abby actually takes vitamin D herself, and she's eating animals. She's eating animals and she takes vitamin D. So this is actually incredibly dangerous advice from this dietitian, because as I showed in my previous video, it can be dangerous taking high amounts of vitamin D. Actually, I didn't go into how dangerous it can be and affect your hormones and stuff like that, but it can be dangerous if you haven't had a blood test and you're supplementing vitamin D and you don't need it. So she's actually, she's recommending Kristina takes vitamin D without even having a blood test. And Kristina, for me, is clearly getting enough vitamin D. So that means that if she took the vitamin D, she would have health problems. So you can see why Abby has started with the whole, this is for entertainment purposes. Kind of don't take me seriously. Go and see a registered dietitian for advice. Wow.
Definitely hoping that she's taking a supplement.
Wow.
And while I
definitely hope she's taking a supplement. Abby, you should be recommending a blood test first to see if the individual has any deficiencies before just willy-nilly saying, yeah, take vitamin D. When you're tanned as fuck, you're obviously getting enough sunshine. It's a sunshine vitamin. Vitamin D doesn't come from a pill. It comes from the sun, okay? And there is definitely risks to taking vitamin D, especially too much. Wow. And when it comes to B12, vegans and non-vegans at this point, in my belief, should be taking a vitamin B12 supplement. And from my research, maybe that'll change. I don't know.
See any grains here. She's definitely getting a lot of fiber from that massive big salad she's consuming and the veggie platter with the hummus, which is great. However, she's getting about 93 grams of fiber in her day when the recommendation is 25 grams.
And that's why the whole freaking Western world is constipated, right? As I said, like if they put that fiber up too high, you know, if they put the fiber up to like over 100 grams of fiber a day, can you imagine what industries would be complaining? Meat and dairy doesn't have any fiber at all. Coffee, right? There's no fiber. Like there's so much stuff that she is ingesting, so it's super hypocritical, that have no fiber. And like certain grains are low in fiber as well. Fruit. You know, fruit-based would then be implicated as a diet for the species to follow. But you can't have that because big pharma, meat and dairy, all of that have vested interest.
However, when you're looking at the extreme amounts that Kristina is, it's very likely that you're suffering from things like bloating, cramping, and regularity disturbances.
Is she serious? This is exactly what happens when you're constipated, when you're not having enough fiber.
More recently, Jenkins and colleagues put people on about a 20 servings of fruit a day diet for a few weeks and no adverse effects on weight or blood pressure or triglycerides, and an astounding 38-point drop in LDL cholesterol. There was one side effect, though. Given the 44 servings of vegetables they had on top of all that fruit, they recorded the largest bowel movements apparently ever documented in a dietary intervention.
This woman she's earning her name time and time again, Abbey and also Sharp. What are you talking about? Anyway, I'm going to leave it there because this is going to be way too long a video, but that is my review of Dietitian, she's a foodie, right? Of the foodie Abbey Sharp on her review on FullyRawKristina. Please vote on the video before you leave it. Please leave a comment, help the algorithm. Let's get it out there. Let's get the truth out there because Abbey Sharp is not so sharp. She's propped up on stimulants. She has a whole bunch of synthetic supplements. She's having artificial sweetener. She has essentially low carb, low fiber diet, and she is critiquing fresh food eaters. And I think that is totally unacceptable and laughable. It's laughable. It really is. So anyway, and it's dangerous for her to be recommending Kristina takes vitamin D. It's dangerous. Very irresponsible. All right. Don't forget to go fruit yourself, and I'll see you soon.